Yo. We're gonna get into this today.
Atlanta.
Yeah. Woo. Now, honestly, I just want to show you guys how I arranged this drop and how I made the basses. A lot of these basses will be in the Patreon, so you can get those too. Otherwise, I'm gonna break some down so you can see what's good. First off, I started the drop with like a fake drop, so we'll go into that first. Fake drop is gonna look like this. Some of these kicks are taken out, and then we got basically the rhythm set up here. For the sub, we have just operator with a pedal. Well, that'll also be available too. That's an easy one. And then what I did was I chopped up some of these MARAUDA samples. This is like for little fills or like the beginning hits, for example. This is like the call. And then response. With this, there's 3 layers. Basically just experimented, added 3 different layers, and then went forward with the final sound. Or like this, we'll call this. So on the first one, it's Dripment 3, and basically this is doing some movement with the filter. And then we have evolution at seconds as well. And then we have tube distortion, phaser, multiband compression. The goods. This is basically the same patch, but it looks like probably switched it up some. -4 +1, and then the original one is -4 0. So I'll switch up the octaves and switch up the wavetable position and the FM from B and the cutoff and these different parameters to make each sound different. Otherwise I stay in the root note, but I change the tone with the knobs and serum. The third one is going to be similar, same tactic. We just got +7 semitones. So I'm just adding harmonics on top of each other, you know? You gotta add good harmonics in the flow. So, for sure. Let's go. Next is going to be the rhythm I placed it in. So if you listen, it goes fast at first, and then I space it out, and then I go triplets in this section. While these are playing, we also have a wide bass that's playing, because these are mono, and then we also have a wide bass that comes in to add variation. This wide bass, you know, is a little bit wide with all the voices. I think it has 16 voices. Yep. This is made with just throwing in a sample. This one's on my Patreon too. This is the Dripment Wide Boy. Very good one. And if you listen, these lasers are playing a big part. And then you add space, put in a vocal, and this helps with the dynamics. Everything is limited to the top, so gotta add some space with some vocals to add some dynamics. And then you can see I put a little tom fill towards the end to bring it in. And then I have little fills like this, like a completely dry rim, because this dry, it stands out in the mix because everything's really wet and compressed, but this is just... And after a fill like that, I start speeding up the rhythm of the basses. You can see there's basses hitting up and down. And then we have, of course, the wide bass playing. And the lasers that's going fast. As soon as the drop plays, we have no sustain playing in the background, but then later on in the second phrase, after 8 bars, we have the sustain coming. You can see it stops here so that we can let these basses talk, basically, and the wide basses talk. I'm gonna go back. And you see, the patterns are very similar. There's a lot of copy and paste involved, and then you just kind of switch up the patterns and add variation to spice up the flow. You always got to spice up the flow. After the first 16 bars, which is this, I take out the drums again, but then we add like a rise right here, just to add more tension and energy. And then when it drops, I add a new sound to add something different, which is like this different type of sustain. Sounds like this in the mix.
Atlanta.
Heard another vocal right here. Atlanta.
Atlanta.
So with this sustain, looks like I got an excellent sound patch and like made it loud, but then added this auto pan. So the original patch was like this, just like a regular patch. Nothing special. A little bit of these, but we add a frequency shifter to pitch it down. Then we make it loud. Super disgusting loud. I have like 3 OTTs, saturator, some stereo, EQ8, another loud rack. You know, just making it loud. Add some trash. Add a JST clip to clip it. Add 0. And then add the auto pan like this. Triplet flow. I automate the rate down towards the end to make it sound different towards the end. Like opens up. These little tricks like that help bring in the next part of the song, which is... So all throughout there's a lot of call, response. I'm listening to it over and over and over again and just making subtle adjustments to make it sound better to me, to make me dance more, honestly. When I'm making this, I'm legit going in. And then you see this section is the same as this section, except it's a little different. And you can hear the difference right here. So this is the call, but then the response will be a little bit different than the response in this section over here. And I could just loop back and forth now. Not much to it, honestly. Lots of good tricks, lots of layering techniques. You can get these racks and sounds in my Patreon. I'm going to include those. Help me figure out a name for this song. Something Atlanta, in relation to Atlanta, something, I don't know. But you guys let me know. Like, subscribe, comment.